Hello everybody and welcome back to today's server review. Today we are reviewing Pixelcraft. Thank you to the owner or whoever else invited me onto the server. One thing I would recommend doing though right off the bat when I joined in and I saw your server is I had to register to log in, so I had to create a username and password. One thing I'd really recommend doing is I was able to move around but be blinded when that happened. So I would really recommend making sure if you do have a registering system in your server to make sure you limit their movability when you join in. That's just my number one suggestion. Anyway, let's get straight into it. So, if you are new here, our server reviews is where we go over different servers, explain what we think can be improved about them, what can be changed, and to get more players on, all that good stuff. If you are new here, consider subscribing, please. We only have 13% of people watching these videos subscribed, so make sure to stay tuned. Anyway, let's get straight into it. In terms of when I first joined in, the register thing was a little annoying because I could move around and I was blinded and stuff, but I get why you do that. Some servers have lots of botting problems and stuff, so registering does help out with that. But overall, it seems like you have a nicely decorated spawn. It's not too big, not too small. Lots of areas to explore and stuff I can see in here. The only thing I would recommend doing is maybe creating some type of interactive tutorial somewhere around here. I know /help, I know that opens up the help page, but one thing I recommend doing with every server is kind of making that a GUI guide explanation, because it seems to be easier for players to read that way rather than being in chat, things like that. I would also recommend letting your clear lag message in the chat be customized to your server, so it's a little bit more customized than the default one. Same with your scoreboard. It seems like you just have an MCMMO default stats scoreboard, so I would recommend maybe making it so it's custom built into your server. You have your rank names on there and everything, how much money, if you do have money. I haven't explored that much to know that you do have money. It's in Tablist, so maybe list your money there, your chords possibly, the link to your website, then list the common MCMMO ones, or only the MCMMO ones you have levels for. So that would be my suggestion to look into. In terms of loading in, you do lose hunger at spawn, so that would be another thing to look into as soon as possible, considering that does get a little bit annoying. A nice push, block things, that's pretty cool. I do like how it's not like your traditional pressure plate and there's actually particles. That's actually really nice, using the new blocks in Minecraft and stuff. I like how you also have your armor on automatically, and you do have torches in your left-hand slot by default, so that is pretty cool. Thank you for giving the items in the correct slots, or for default players, normally the correct slots. You got ender chests at spawn, you got your typical claim land book. One thing I recommend doing is maybe customizing the claim land book a little bit for your server, just so it's not the default one. I think it would look a little bit better. This popping in and out of holograms, I've noticed on all newer versions of Minecraft, sadly. I don't think there's a way around that unless you extend your view distance or something. So I'm not going to mention it. I'm only going to mention it shortly, that it does pop in and out, same with NPCs. So if you know a way around that, I would recommend looking into it, but from what I've seen, it's not possible to fix that. Great info here. You got, the only thing I would say is maybe fix capitalization in these sentences and make them, just, you know, you're capitalizing like every other word or something. So something I would look into is maybe fixing the capitalization in messages and stuff. That's just something to be a little bit more professional in terms of your server. I also would give a little bit more interaction in the hub, like I said a little earlier. Maybe NPCs, treasure hunts, competitions, stuff like that, because that would be good to know. And now I am stuck inside some fences, considering I jumped in here and I don't think there's a way out of here. So now I'm going to be stuck in here. And I can't glitch out of here, sadly. I would also recommend getting rid of the default world guard message that says you can't break these blocks here. I know there's a way to do that. Okay, I can glitch out with the block glitch, but I would recommend maybe getting rid of or putting a fence gate in there or something. /shop, I'm guessing opens a shop. Okay, you have a GUI shop. Nice sounds and everything. I know you can't hear the sounds, but nice sounds with that. Clicking to next pages and stuff goes smoothly, no lag there or anything, so great job on that. I wonder if do you have an auction? No, you don't. Okay, so it's just your typical, like, survival, I'm guessing? Towny survival? Ow, okay. So I did take a little damage. Okay, so I lost money when I random teleported. So that's my number one thing that I say to every server. Do not remove players' money for random teleportation, at least for the first time of joining a server. It just makes it so new players are like, well, why did they take all the money from me? maybe things like that. So I would highly recommend looking into a way so you don't steal players' monies the first time they join the server, because that would be... Alright, I do apologize for that. I got called away for a moment to help a dog. But yeah, that's one thing I would really recommend changing, because first-time players may get a little bit mad if you take away their money when you teleport them for the first time. Just add a check for that or something if your plugin supports it. I think that would be cool. Anyway, you got a lot of mobs here, so I may be wondering if you have, like, a mob multiplier or something? Multiplier? I cannot talk today. Clearly, I'm tired. But I would also customize your default MCMMO messages and stuff just to make it a little bit more unique for your server. So one thing, and I would recommend this for every server, is to make sure you have unique messages that no other servers have. Make sure it looks unique for your server so it doesn't look like you're just copying another server or using the same plugins as other servers. Even though a lot of servers use the same plugin, I would highly recommend making it more customized for your server. That is pretty much all the messages and stuff I've noticed. Let's talk a little bit about your tab list and what I don't like about it and what can be changed. First thing I don't like about your tab list is there's too many popping colors up there. You got those lines which are really not needed. Those like purple lines that go across are really not needed. They're just adding space to the tab list. They don't really do anything. I would highly recommend removing those. In terms of your ping, it's great to have your ping and stuff on the scoreboard or on the tab list. That is a great thing to have because it shows players their connection. Though if players have their own unique systems for ping, kind of like how Badlion client has there, you can see I have 107 ping with Badlion, but the server's saying I have 128, so I'm not exactly sure which one's right. Okay, so they're actually even now. So regardless, I would just recommend making it a little cleaner on your tab list. Maybe put ranked names for your players. Use a plugin like Animated Names to put your ranked names in your tab list and above the player's head. In terms of your chat, I would recommend getting rid of the space after the username next to the dot. You should just move the dot over one, so it's just a little bit more clean. And in terms of tab, just put their ranked names up there. And then in terms of your location, money, and TPS there, TPS and money are great to have there. Location's also great, but you shouldn't have the spaces in between those, and the colors should all stay the same. So I would recommend getting rid of the gray color, keeping the gray color for the commas, but moving the commas over so they're right next to each other, and the numbers are right next to each other. There should be no big spaces in between there. It just looks weird, and it's not actually coordinates. So if you press F3, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. The X, Y, and Z, they're right next to each other, kind of. Well, that's not a good example, but I would just move it over one, so everything's even, and the commas are next to the numbers. That makes a lot more sense in terms of correctness, in terms of punctuation and everything. But yeah, customize your messages, stuff like that would really help, I think, on your server. Make sure it's more unique. Warps. You do have a nice warp GUI, so that is great. Keep up the good work with that. Let's go check out your crates. Because this is, okay, so this is the #1 thing on every server I like to talk about is crate bounce back. I highly recommend removing the bounce back of crates because you can glitch up to places. And here it's not that big of a deal, but I do recommend looking into that because I could, if possible, and if you change locations of these or anything, I could like glitch on the top of things, I could get places. So I would highly recommend doing that. And I don't like how this pops up. You should not have that pop up in your on your screen. It gets in the player's way. Maybe you get used to it, but I would recommend not having that. Put that in chat. There's no need to have that as an announcement on your title screen. But yeah, don't bounce back crates. Stuff like that is just something I would recommend looking into because it may make it a little easier. I would also put a hologram that says crates over here or something, so players who are in hub don't have to type /warp crates to get to the crates. Anyway, that is pretty much all the suggestions I have for your server, and hopefully you keep working on it. You seem to have a basic player base on, which is terrific, so keep up the good work with that, because basic player bases and having a player base at all is a good thing on Minecraft. So I would highly recommend to keep working on that. Maybe add a larger pig spawn or whatever is here, because there is none here when I joined, so I would recommend maybe making it a little bit easier to spawn pigs and stuff. I can block glitch, so that would be something to possibly look into. I'm not sure if there's a plugin that, there's probably plugins that have been made to keep that from happening. But those are my suggestions for your server. Please keep in mind these are all my opinions. They're not like, you have to do this, have to do that. It's just my opinions, and I think it may improve your server a little bit to help you out. But overall, very nice server. Keep working on it, and I hope you have lots of success with it in the future. So thank you so much for watching. My name is Noodles. I will see you in tomorrow's video. Goodbye.